I used to do anything that could bring money.
Yes.
So myself, my brother, and 2 other guys, we ran the tuck shop at Res.
Okay.
Like we sold everything from bread to condoms to pregnancy tests, like
Yes.
everything that's needed
That's
in Res,
needed on
except
the
alcohol
campus.
and the likes.
Yeah.
Like we had it, right?
Yeah.
But we started with like $5,000. Like cash that we pulled together,
Okay.
and by the time we left that, we were doing $2 million a year.
Cool. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you for taking time to come in.
So we're starting just like this.
Yeah, we're in, bro.
We're in,
We're in, bro. We're living.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Time doesn't wait.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but thank you, man. Thank you. It's not everyone who can give you your time. It's always going to be 24 hours. But we do appreciate you coming to talk to us and talk to our guests as well. That's Mambo Kazi. You've already met her.
Yes.
And I think you know my name.
I think
I
so.
hope so.
I hope so. No.
So basically we just want to know you, Curtis, where you started. I know you were given a birth certificate and they said you are qualified for life. I'm not sure, but I think that's a guarantee that you know something. So if you can just take us through from that time up to where you are. The main thing is we want to share like golden nuggets, challenges, things that you have encountered and managed to jump the hurdles, and share with the other people as well and see how they can learn from your story.
No, cool.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, thanks for having me.
Nice.
It's always nice to have a nice cold drink on a Saturday.
Yes.
So it's good to be with you guys to have a nice chat. So, yeah, like you said, I was born. I grew up.
Yeah.
No, but so I grew up on the farm. I'm originally from the Eastern Cape. Born and bred, farm boy.
Oh, nice.
Like grew up in a very, very, very small town. Like I always need to like play, do you know the town when I explain where I'm from? So like I usually start with, do you know Port Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know Humansdorp?
No.
Do you know Jeffreys Bay?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know
On the
Hankey?
map. Yeah.
Yes, that's my town. So I'm originally from a small farming town called Hankey.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one street,
That's it.
gravel roads, the rest like really, really tiny.
Okay.
So my dad was a farmer through and through.
Yeah.
Grew up on the farm, wanted to die on the farm.
Okay.
But yeah, I started off in a small town.
Yeah.
I was one of 4 English-speaking people in the school that I went to originally.
Okay.
So very Afrikaans town.
Yeah.
My parents then, like when I was 10, made the decision to send myself and my brother off to boarding school. So I've been away from home like from 10.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's good.
first year, my parents like every week they'd come and fetch us.
Yeah.
Obviously went through primary school, went through high school. By the time I was in matric, it would be like, I'll see you at Christmas now.
Yeah.
Sharp. So I think a lot of those types of like that probably started my journey towards being quite an independent person. My wife would say stubborn.
Okay.
I say independent. The lines sometimes blur.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to boarding school. Went to a school called Mill College.
Okay.
So all boys school.
It's a boys' school.
Yeah, all boys school.
Oh, okay.
So yes, we had a sister school, but it was an all boys school.
Oh, okay.
Was in hostel. Played a lot of sports. So like I'd go home after sport and the likes.
Okay.
But like I said, my dad was a farmer, and farming in this country, I think farming just in general is not an easy thing.
True.
So like my dad had a couple of years of just struggling, got into some financial difficulty, and myself and my brother, we were still at school.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to share this because this has like been a common theme in my life as well.
Okay.
Where you might have invited me here thinking like Curtis has made it, Curtis has achieved stuff, but I've achieved a lot through other people making sacrifices for me. So my parents made fantastic sacrifices for me. At that time when my parents were struggling, like the friends, like my friends' parents, they clubbed together and paid for my school fees, my brother's school fees.
Nice.
So I've been very blessed, and my brother as well has been very blessed to be in situations and spaces where people believe in us.
Yeah.
And then through that,
Yeah.
you end up needing to go like, hey, yeah, no?
Yeah. I must.
I must. I need to show up.
I need to. Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, look, that obviously happened like in high school and the likes.
Yeah.
Went to varsity. So for me, I saw how difficult farming was for my dad.
Okay.
So like, I was like, listen, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
How did that conversation go?
That conversation went fine. Like my dad wasn't too hung up on I need to farm. I think it's more around making sure that the asset that is the farm stays in the family. So as long as that stayed in the family, my dad wasn't too precious around me needing to go there with a shovel and a and a bucky and whatever. Yes, I've got a bucky now because it's the thing I want to drive, but it wasn't a thing of I need to farm. There were more awkward conversations than that in my life with my dad. But yeah, I went to varsity. So in varsity, there's probably a lot more career choices now.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot more understanding and openness to be an entertainer, be a dancer, be a sports person,
Oh, yes.
be something else.
Yes.
But like when I went to varsity, it was like, listen, law, BCom,
Engineer.
Yeah.
marketing, engineer,
Yeah.
doctor. You're doing something in the
Yes.
in those core pillars of study.
Yeah.
So I went to varsity and studied a double major in BCom, accounting and economics.
Okay. And you didn't go for agriculture or anything?
No. So I studied at NMMU, so Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University.
Okay.
But like again, my parents didn't have money to pay for university, so both myself and my brother we applied for NSFAS.
Okay.
Super fortunate to get in because like not many people with my complexion are going to get NSFAS.
True.
But like again, like blessings on blessings. Like I kind of say it's a little bit of luck. But fine, got NSFAS. My brother and I both applied for the same thing, same
program.
Applied for the same program, same res. My brother got a res acceptance letter. I got nothing. My parents like, maybe they just lost it.
Yeah.
So they took both of us to res, and they bring you there like a week before classes start for orientation.
Okay.
They brought us there, and my dad and mom were like, "Yeah, you're grown now." Dropped me off. It's like, you'll be okay, man.
Yeah.
You'll figure out where you're gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So my brother had a room. His roommate hadn't yet arrived at res.
Okay.
So the house committee guys were like, "Yeah, you'll just crash here.
Okay.
Until this person rocks up, and then we'll move you.
Okay.
Or we'll see what we see."
Yeah.
So I'm like, sharp.
Wow.
So in orientation, these guys are like, "But if you sing, we'll make sure." Yo, was I not the one singing the loudest there? Like all the guys, they were like, "Who's this white guy just like singing like so loud?" So anyways, managed to get into res because of that. So again, like, you double up sometimes in life.
True.
You just find yourself in the right spaces and then you make it work.
True.
But yeah, was in res. First year came and went sharp. Second year, I then became a house committee member in res. I was the orientation house committee member.
Okay.
So I was the guy now leading everyone else singing, which is quite fun. Again, so all the first years, any of the guys from that time at NMU would be like, when they saw me there, they thought I was brought in from the army just to come and run orientation because I was like that guy. But anyways, house committee. Again, because of my situation, my background, my parents didn't have a lot of financial capital and the likes.
Yeah.
Both myself and my brother adopted the mindset of we need to do whatever we can to not be a burden on my parents. In varsity, if it paid money, I was there. I was a computer lab assistant on campus. I was a computer lab assistant at res.
Wow.
I ran the tuck shop. I did orientation for international students.
Wow. And you still needed to study with all those resources.
No, fine. First year, all distinction. Second year, it's like, hey, I'm busy. Let's just pass.
Yeah.
But I was balancing a lot of things at the time.
Yeah.
But I think through that, again, one of the things it probably taught me was resilience and sometimes you just need to do what you need to do. But anyways, went through varsity, graduated 1 year late,
Okay.
Accounting plucked me
Yeah.
that last year, but managed
Yeah.
to pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Applied for different graduate programs. I was fortunate enough to get shortlisted for one of the graduate programs at Standard Bank. I was one of 2 people from the Eastern Cape who were called up for the final round of interviews.
Wow. Okay.
And I still remember, like, I just had my BCom,
Yeah.
BCom rat, accounting economics, and the other guy from the Eastern Cape studied the exact same course, but
Yeah.
had his masters. So he studied accounting economics, the exact same thing,
Yeah.
but
On
master's level.
Oh.
And we were both there interviewing. I'm like, hey, we'll see what we see. Let's go.
You're already judging yourself.
Yeah, no, and it happens, right? You'll end up
does,
judging
it does.
yourself, and
Yeah.
you'll sit and go like, "Am I good enough?" But like,
Yes. Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
times where you just need to show up, man, and like put your
Showing
best
up.
foot forward. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then it wasn't your time,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But like, went into the interviews. I'm quite a well-spoken person to debate, etc.
Yeah.
And I think personally, the thing that made me I ended up getting the job. But the thing that I think made me get the job is not the fact that I had decent marks on my qualification.
Okay.
That helped, yes, and that is kind of like your default entry. You at least need to have that. But that gets you to the table to talk in the interview.
Okay.
That doesn't get you hired.
Yes.
What
yes.
gets you hired is the story you can tell around what allowed you to achieve that thing. Like what burden, what obstacles did you overcome?
Yes.
What extra thing can you bring to the table that's not on the piece of paper?
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that probably landed me the job was, like I mentioned, I used to do anything that could bring money.
Yes.
So myself, my brother, and 2 other guys, we ran the tuck shop at Res.
Okay.
So like this was like a full-time job. Like we'd open up at 7, we'd cash up at 4, we'd cash up again at 8, and then we'd cash up at 12 at night. And this was Monday to Sunday.
Wow.
And we'd be running stock. We'd be like, we sold everything from bread to condoms to pregnancy tests, like
Yes.
everything that's needed,
That's
in Res,
needed on the
except alcohol
compass.
and the likes.
Yeah.
Like we had it, right?
Yeah.
But we started with like $5,000, like cash that we pulled together,
Okay.
like a 20 grand credit line that we got from the one business partner because his dad had a wholesaler.
Okay.
And by the time we left that, we were doing 2 million a year.
Oh.
Like,
Wait, so when you got there was no tuck shop? Is what you
no, there was a
There
tuck
was?
shop, but
Okay.
what they end up doing is they allow students to tender for it.
Oh.
So you need to come with a business plan. You need to come
Okay,
with,
okay.
this is how I'm going to run it. This is who I'm going to employ. And you need to show like student employment and how you're going to maintain stock levels
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like how you're going to run this as a proper business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's what I think made me get the job because I was like, guys, like I can take $5,000 and make it money. So
So you
Like-
started.
Look,
let's talk.
Yeah. So you started entrepreneurship like quite at an early age. Yeah.
Look, I started it even before that. Like my dad,
Yeah.
like when I was like 10.
Yeah.
My brother was 9, I was 10. He's like, listen, you guys want to get toys for Christmas?
Yeah.
Here's a hectare of oranges. If you pick it, that money's yours. Like,
Wow. Wow.
my dad,
Yeah.
like, that's one thing I can say. Like,
Yeah.
that man taught me how to work. Like,
Nice.
there's no one,
Yeah.
you know, like, you can
Nice.
sit here and go, like, yeah, 8 hours. Guy, you warming up still.
Yeah.
You're warming up, right? So, like, hard work, I know what that looks like because
Yeah.
I've seen it
Yeah,
through my dad.
Nice.
Sometimes it doesn't lead to the outcome you wanted to,
Yeah.
but like you need to at least come with that if you're expecting
True.
to have something.
True.
But anyways, yeah, landed up at Standard Bank
Nice.
as a financial analyst in one of the projects.
Okay.
Moved up to Joburg from the Eastern Cape.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I rented a flat in Marshalltown in Joburg.
Okay.
It's like, it's fine. I can walk to work.
Yeah.
Little did I know, like, this is like Joburg. It's not the same as like Eastern Cape Town.
Yeah. From the small.
Yeah,
From
man.
the small
So
town.
we moved up. My girlfriend, now my wife. So
Okay.
my girlfriend at the time, but my wife now, she came up with me. We moved
Okay.
up. When we moved up, again, like funny story.
Yeah.
So they hadn't yet paid over the relocation allowance. So I had enough money saved up from the tuck shop days
Oh.
to pay my deposit for the apartment that I was going to rent,
Okay.
and enough to get me food for the week that I needed to be there. before they took us to, it's called GLC. So they take you to GLC, you sleep over, nice food, nice bed, blah, blah, blah. But like that week before, came up, there's no bed, there's no fridge, there's nothing, just paid deposit, had money for food. Myself and my wife now, like we just took all the winter clothes and that's what we slept on for the week. But like first night in Joburg, like shit, we need to eat. So like check on the phone, and this is before Uber and all of this. Check on the phone, like Carlton Center, we can walk. So we walked to Carlton Center and we get some groceries. And we probably walked like at around 6. So by the time we got there, it was dark. By the time we came out, everything was starting to close, and now we're walking back. And like we walk out and it's Joburg. My wife's from Mafeking. I'm from the Eastern Cape. So this is like,
it's new.
I have no idea where to go. We ended up going the wrong way. So we ended up going more towards Bree instead of back towards Marshalltown where I was staying. And as we were walking, it's getting dingier and dingier. And we were just, you're sitting there quietly, we're like, what have we done? Eventually, one of the security guys is like, listen, you guys look lost. Or you lost? Like, yes, we definitely lost. So he walked us back and then walked us back. So anyways.
Nice.
Like, but I tell that because like, sometimes you need to see.
Showing up.
Experience the real side of the country. And not just the nice life.
It's not everyone. You get like people from out of the blues to assist you and help you. Like what you mentioned, like initially, like the people that will help you to get even school fees. You get it. So it's actually one of my philosophies. Like everyone is important, and with there's value also in collaboration, because you end up getting to jump other hurdles that you never thought that you could. But showing up is also,
and you jump them through having other people give you a lift, right? But like worked at Standard Bank at the time. Did that for a couple of years, but was starting to get a little bit frustrated in my job. Not because the people I was working with were necessarily like bad people or anything, but sometimes you're just in a good space, but it's not the right space for you. Where the work's fine, it's someone else's dream job, but it's not yours. Where you just feel like this isn't the thing. Like I always tell this to people, like, someone who's naturally got an affinity towards the arts, or natural affinity towards numbers, or natural affinity towards tech, etc., will draw energy from things that drain other people. So like if I'm a natural like doer, I like creating and building stuff.
Practical.
I'm going to feel drained if I'm watching you do that and I'm just sitting there saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So that was kind of a little bit the frustration I was having when my role was being a financial analyst, where I was checking other people's projects to say what they've missed, what they need to still consider. I was like basically auditing the projects, right? But like that was getting a little bit frustrating. So like a lot of dumb decisions or good decisions we'll decide at the end of this chat. At a braai, myself and a couple of mates, we're just both in the same space of like, look, the work's fine, but the work's not fine. So we made the decision to start a digital consulting company together. They were like hardcore tech guys. I was meant to be the digital, like the consultant guy. I was meant to be like, hey, Kuda. Hey, you want a website? You want an app? I'm the Accenture guy. I can sell it. I'm that guy, right? And they were then going to like execute, and we're going to kind of collaborate to make sure that we can build out this thing. So we started off double hatting. Like we started the company in 2015. We only the three of us only decided to go full time into the business in 2016. Like 18 months later. Probably a little bit too soon, but I'll explain that a little bit now. But like between those 18 months, this was Monday to Friday full-time job. Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, we would work from after work, so 5 p.m. until 2 a.m. We'd sleep, be up at 7, and then push through. So like we'd be like doing 3 days of like 4 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep.
Sure.
Like double hatting stuff just to get stuff off the ground.
Sure.
That's why, like, for me, like, if
Yeah.
I see people rock up and it's like, guy,
Yeah.
you here at 3 p.m. going, I've worked hard. Like,
Yeah.
You're just like,
no.
You don't know what hard is.
No, not yet. Not yet, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I always tell people, like, if you want to make money, right,
Yeah.
don't think that you're going to do that in entrepreneurship and it's going to be easy. Like, if you want to
Yeah.
make easy money, stay in corporate. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
You'll be comfortable.
You'll sweat a lot less
Yeah.
for the same money than if you doing that thing outside. The thing outside will fulfill you more. You'll
Yeah.
maybe be more energized by it,
Yeah.
but you're going to sweat
More.
at least double
More.
to get the same outcome
Yeah.
that you get in corporate. Like, it's very
Sure.
easy to be in corporate if you show up. Your job at corporate is to show up,
Show up. Yeah.
do what you've been paid
Clock
for,
in.
and that's it.
Sure.
You don't actually have to do extra. Extra is for growth. Extra is
Yeah.
for you.
Yes. Self-investment.
If you in entrepreneurship, extra is not for you.
No.
Extra is for survival.
It's for
Like, that's the default.
you can't. There's no excuse.
So like that's what that period taught me. So we did that for 18 months, like really like, you know, yeah, like proper work.
Yeah.
Myself and my wife at that time had gotten married we did the traditional wedding 2014.
Okay.
We did the white wedding. No, the traditional wedding was 2013. White wedding was 2014.
Okay.
Um,
And then you guys
bought our first house in December 2014.
Okay.
First child was born February 2015. So
Okay.
while I was doing this 3
Sure.
days,
what?
4 hours
4
sleep,
hours sleep,
doubling
good.
up, all of this stuff's happening personally.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun times.
Yeah. But how did you balance? Because you know you always have to be there, like you have to be present when it comes to family
yeah.
and stuff, and at the same time, you into entrepreneurship as
Yeah.
well. And how do you balance the stress and pressure?
Look, so I think balancing the stress is one thing,
Yeah.
and balancing the pressure is one thing. What I'll say though is balancing all of these things equally,
Yeah.
that's impossible.
True.
So
True.
that whole concept of work-life balance, I
Yeah.
don't think is an actual truth. There's just a time where you shift the scale to one
To
extreme,
one set. Okay.
and there's a time where you shift the scale back to the other extreme
Okay.
to make sure that you're giving on both sides to balance it out eventually. But like,
Okay.
if you have that many balls in the air,
Yeah.
something is not getting
Yeah.
its full attention. Like,
Sure.
we mustn't lie and pretend there's this
Juggling.
nirvana of,
Yeah.
you know, you're spending all the time with your kids, all the time with your wife, all the time in corporate, all the time on entrepreneurship, and.
Yeah.
Something is not getting all of you.
all of the time.
It's like
True.
a shift of priorities
And you need to be
Yeah.
able to make the choice around where you need to shift the priorities to based on what's burning the most.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
Which ball is burning?
which ball's burning the
You can't
most.
be sitting there watching Netflix and yet
Hey, you
things
know.
are falling apart.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah, no.
So the whole concept of work-life balance for me is it's not an equal scale like people would make it out to be. It's you being okay with where that scale is in your life
Yeah.
and knowing what that means to you and knowing when to tip it in which direction.
Yeah.
So like, if it's me sacrificing sleep, I'm taking the knock because eventually that's a health thing. That's
Yes. Yes.
a blood pressure thing, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
If that's not spending time with your kids, eventually that catches up in that relationship. If it's not with your wife, it's catching up in that relationship. If it's not at work,
Yeah.
if it's not in your own business that you're building on the side,
Yeah.
something's going to take the knock.
Sure.
Like maybe for me, the thing that I have found the most easy to juggle
Yeah.
is the corporate bit.
Okay.
Because I think if you're okay with knowing that the job you have is the foundation you're building something else on, then you're not worried about needing to show up like you, because in corporate you need to perform
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
when you're at this level to be able to justify the promotion,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if I know that this is the foundation that I'm building
Yeah.
on and the exit ramp is not up here but it's short left,
Okay.
then my mindset around how I show up to work
Yeah.
is to show up to do my job,
Yeah.
not to do my job for promotion.
Yes. Yes.
So I think personally the thing that's been the easiest to Like if I had to pick anything,
Yeah.
it would be that one there
Yes.
is the easiest one to maybe say, I can manage this the easiest with
Yeah.
the least amount of stress
Okay.
than the others.
Yeah. Just to
like,
keep
yeah.
your employee number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and don't be an ass about it. Like,
Yeah.
still sharp, do your job. Don't burn the bridge because
Yes.
you never know
Yeah.
when you'd want to come back and maybe
True.
show up there and say, hey, I'm back. Would you hire me again? You need to leave enough value behind
Yeah.
where they'll go, I still want you.
Yes.
But there's a difference between building a career
Yeah.
and staying in a job.
Okay. Okay.
Those are two very different things.
Yeah.
So if you're juggling anything, it's making that sacrifice would be my personal recommendation.
Yeah.
Because the entrepreneurship bit, I hate the term side hustle. I absolutely
Yeah, okay.
detest it.
Okay.
Because a side hustle is you selling Tupperware, man. Like it's the thing you do
Yeah.
like for pocket money to buy a beer.
Yes.
Like you're not building a business there. You're not
You're
building
not-
a legacy.
Sure.
You're not creating something. You're just doing something to fill up your free time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a side hustle.
That's
Like if you're building something, you must mentally treat it like a second job.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the space it must take up in your mind. It might not necessarily at the point you make that decision mentally take up that space
Yeah.
in your time, in your focus, etc. But mentally, you must treat it with the same seriousness you treat your job. So
Sure.
if you're serious about building a side hustle into a business,
Yeah.
you from day one need to think of it like a business. So there's no, I don't feel like going to work today. No,
No,
your
yeah.
job says rock up.
Yeah.
Are you sick? Are you dying?
Yeah.
Like, then shut up,
And
come to work. Don't
show
tell me
off.
you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's the mindset you must take into your side hustle if it's going to become something more than a side hustle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like that's why I say like if you in essence have two jobs and you've got a family and you've got all these other things,
Yeah.
like the easiest thing is probably the main job if
Yeah.
the plan is to create a second thing,
Yeah.
or it's probably like your social life. Like now there's no time for the streets.
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah.
using the Saturday, you're using the Sunday, you're
work.
using the evenings
Yeah.
for graft.
Yeah.
So like that concept of work-life balance, I've always found it difficult personally. But I think because I've been raised, because I saw how my dad grafted to
Yeah.
sacrifice for me,
Yeah.
and what that did for me and affording me opportunities that
True.
he didn't get.
Yeah.
Like, I don't maybe treat that as like a begrudging thing now. I treat it as like, this is my responsibility as a head of a household. Like,
That's true.
like I need to show up like this because I've
Yes.
seen that happen in my life.
Yeah.
So if I've got kids, that's
Yeah.
what's needed now.
That's true.
But anyways, yeah, did the digital consulting thing. We kind of got a few clients, made a, like I said, we went in full time.
Yeah.
We got a few clients where it was just enough to afford paying us something, but there wasn't
Yeah.
like long-term stability. If any client dropped us,
Yeah.
we were like, fuck, right?
We are gone. We are depending on
Yeah,
these guys.
we like literally then like, hey, last
Yeah.
man, one-on-one
Yeah.
defense here. So that actually happened. So a few
Yeah.
clients, like a few contracts we were betting on for growth and the likes didn't come through. So things got very tight very quickly.
Okay.
And we were friends, but not like blood friends. Like,
Okay.
we were friends because of the jobs we had.
Okay. Okay.
But like, this isn't like someone I grew up with from
Yeah, from way back,
from
from
way
that
back
small
where-
town in the.
yeah, like, but we were close enough. Like the guys, they were groomsmen at our wedding. These aren't like,
Wow.
just J, right?
That's good.
But I
That's
think
good.
we all needed to make decisions at that point for ourselves and our significant others. And
Yes.
there's only so far
'Cause-
friendship can take you in that conversation.
True.
Like
True.
if you need to make the decision between feeding yourself and feeding your friend,
Yeah.
like as much as we boys, it's
Yeah.
like, listen,
Yeah.
I come first, right?
Yes, yeah.
And because they were more technical, in this country, if you have a technical background like IT dev,
Yeah.
it's very easy to kind of go into contracting and very quickly be absorbed back into a level of stability.
Yes.
So, like, key clients dropped us, things were tight for a bit. We were having quite tough conversations on what's the plan.
Yes.
And these guys literally just rocked up on a Monday and like, Sharpner. It's the last day today.
Oh yeah.
Here's the rest of the clients. Good luck.
Wow.
So like I said, I studied accounting and economics.
Yeah.
Because of like being around the technical guys, I picked up some technical stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wasn't yet like a IT guy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they left. It's like shit.
Yeah.
Now
I've
we've
got
got
this
servers. Now
client.
we've got websites. Now we've got campaigns running.
And you're in finance, economics,
Like
and stuff.
now, look, I'd started dabbling in like building out websites and figuring out the tech stuff.
Okay. Okay.
But I wasn't yet what I'd call a technical person. Now I am, but it was through that where it's like, hey, by fire, by force.
Yeah. So Curtis, so this was, most of these things were like self-taught. You were teaching yourself IT, because like your program, it's not IT.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's
So
nothing
like
like.
School of YouTube,
Yeah.
free code camp, like
Nice.
do it, break it, and then Google the crap out of it and
And
figure it out.
yeah.
Why? Because that's going to get you paid. Like, I'm from that school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I like that mindset, because that's from your dad, right?
yes, it's
Yeah.
definitely from my dad. It's like,
Nice.
it's that thing of,
Yeah.
there's no place but make it work.
It's
right?
the only way.
It's the only way.
There's no plan B.
There's lots of plans, right?
Yeah.
But they all require like
The same destination.
double up. Let's see. Like just you'll figure it out, right? Like fake it till you make it. Like,
Yeah.
but like like it takes that fake it till you make it thing
Sure. Yeah.
behind the curtain of that statement of confidence. Where it's like, yeah, I can build your website.
Yeah.
Yes, I can run your campaigns. Yes,
Yeah.
like of course.
Yeah.
Behind that is
Yeah.
not just then sitting back and going, okay, he's bought the bullshit.
Yes.
Now you actually.
There is need for
The
delivery.
moment someone says yes,
Yeah.
now you're like, yeah.
No, that's
Now we are learning things quick. But again, like that's what that required
Yes.
in that period of my life. Like my first son, Harvey, was just born.
Oh yeah.
I joke now, because at that time it was tight. Like I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
we started the double up thing. I went full time when my son was maybe like a year and a half old.
Okay.
Things got really tight really quickly after we went full time. My son was maybe 2, still in nappies. Like I was still buying NAN formula, bond, car payments, blah blah blah. And I joke now. I know what the bank's repossession process is. Like you've got 3 months, and then
Yeah.
you need to at least say here's something. You
Yeah.
need to have your conversations. You need to commit to plans and.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like it was really, really tough. Around that time, our wife was like, look, I get you trying to push this thing, but there's a family at home.
Yeah.
I'm at home. This is tough.
True.
She was carrying a lot of weight, and that's one thing I will always like.
Yeah.
I love my wife.
Yeah.
It was actually our 10-year wedding anniversary yesterday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was our 10-year, according to Home Affairs.
Yes.
According to Home Affairs,
Okay.
it was 10 years yesterday.
Yes.
Because that's when we did the white wedding. But we got traditionally married
Yeah, you said
the year before.
year before. Yeah. That's
So
good.
like the ancestors know us 11 years already.
Nah.
The Home Affairs just knows
We've
us
got
10.
we've got a present for you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, my wife is carrying an immense amount on behalf of our family.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So she's like, look, get a job.
Yeah.
So at the time, I started applying for random contracting gigs, anything where it's like, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
Like if it looked like something I could bullshit my way through, I was there submitting a CV.
So
Okay.
during this time, had you completely stopped with this double up, or when everybody
I
was
went
left?
full time already.
Okay.
All 3 of us were full time.
Okay.
Then the 2 left.
Oh, yeah.
So like they left all the remaining clients behind,
Okay.
and then just were like, you'll figure it out. And this is all like we were doing IT stuff, like websites, app builds, like setting up people's SharePoints, blah 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 blah. Right. So this is all like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see what we see. But at the same time, all the family stuff was happening. Right? Like first kid, house, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, like I said, my wife was like, look, get a real job. So I tried to get some contracting work. One of the contracting houses bit. They're like, listen, we'd like you to, they called, like I still remember, they called me on the Monday. They're like, listen, come in for an interview on the Wednesday. That was the briefing.
Okay.
They're like, listen, here's the work. You'll be a marketing data analyst for a financial institution.
Okay.
They didn't tell me the client at the time, but then by the Monday, I figured out who the client was. And it's actually the Standard Bank where I used to work. So
yeah, the vending bridges now.
But they're like, on the Wednesday, like, you can start on Monday. And I looked at the job spec and I'm like, listen, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
But it depends on which side of the equation the hiring manager is thinking I'm coming in at. So if they think I'm too technical, I'm going to be writing SQL queries and doing more database stuff, then I'm probably not the right fit.
Yeah.
But if it's more of the reporting, be an analyst, help out technical people do stuff, and I maybe just need to advise and consult, then I'm your guy.
Okay.
So let me go in on the Monday. I'll tell you the first week if I'm the right guy or not, and you must pull me. So like the Friday before I started on the Monday, I told my wife, listen, can you please take the kids, go to your mom for the weekend. Went to Udemy, got a data analyst course. 21-hour data analyst course. I'm like, sharp, my weekend. I clapped the course.
Wow.
Got my certificate of completion and I walked in on Monday with confidence. And I'm like, see this job title? I've done this.
I'm a data analyst.
I've done this. I can even put on my CV. There's the qualification. It just came through this weekend. But yeah, was fortunate enough to get that role. And like a lot of the tools I was working when I landed. So like I said, I used to work at Standard Bank, but I was in finance. Now I was in the marketing side. And the tools I was working in, like I'd worked in some analytics tools like Google Analytics, Tag Manager, Facebook's analytics tools, etc. But I'd never worked in the tool that the bank was using, which was Adobe. Again, like this is for survival. Like if this thing doesn't pan out, I'm back struggling again. So this is for stability. So like Munya, Munya, like he was my boss when I started the contracting. Like the first weeks I was like, Munya, I need your time. Like teach me this. Like I was Googling, I was YouTubing. Like by the end of the first 3 months, I was like, guy, it's fine. Now I've got this. Because I was like 12 hours, I was just eating, breathing this thing because it's like, this is between me eating food or poverty line. So when necessity like needs you to like hustle, you know,
you will show up.
The right people will show up.
Exactly.
The wrong people will crumble.
Right?
But yeah, the contracting gig, it was a 6-month gig. There were 5 of us brought in initially. By the end of the first month and a half, I was the only one of the 5 left of the contractors. Because all the other ones were the ones who said yes. And then they couldn't back up the yes fully.
Or in terms of performance and
I think there's a second thing, and it's the thing you alluded to. It's the bridge. So because I come from the bank, I wasn't maybe reporting to the same people, but the same names and faces. I was like, I remember you. I know how to maybe show up here where it was easier for me to show up and very quickly establish an ability to create value because I understood the context in which people were already operating because of the previous life I had in the bank, where it's okay, I know where you were when I was last year. I can see where you are now. That makes sense. So here's what I can do to create value to help you think that I'm better. So that really helped. But the relationship without you showing up isn't going to get you anywhere. So if I can't trust you to deliver, I might like you, but I'm not going to put my neck out for you. So like those two things need to go together. You can't just have a relationship and expect people to open doors for you when you aren't even ready to walk through the door. but you also, like, it's a lot easier to walk through the door when someone's there opening it for you,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So those two things, I think I've been blessed enough to be
Nice.
put in positions for that.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
6-month contracting gig turned into a permanent role.
Yeah.
Like, because of the struggle as well, that
Yeah.
actually that's where the company I'm now in was born.
Yeah.
So like when I was struggling, my car just got out of warranty. I didn't have money to service it. It broke down. Hated the process of fixing the vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's where like my now business idea came from, FIXXR.
Yeah.
But again, when I went back into Standard Bank, I was then Standard Bank and then building FIXXR on the side.
Wow. So
again,
a problem or a challenge turned into a business.
It did, but it also turned into me again now just double hatting, but now from the other side where I was not trying to get out, but I was trying to get back in.
So what I want to know, right, is when everything was happening, I understand you have family support, your wife, your kids, everybody else around you. What was it that made Curtis yourself when you're sitting by yourself and you're like, okay, I understand my wife is there and we don't put them in the picture. What was it that kept you like, I need to? I understand your dad also motivated you, and I understand your dad gave you the work ethic, and besides all those people, they're all pushed away and it's just you. What is that thing that was like, no, I need to do this?
It was because of those people that I had the courage and the energy and the motivation to do that.
Okay.
So because I saw my dad sacrifice for me, I had no problem going, I need to sacrifice for my kids and my wife, because that's what's expected, because I've been afforded that luxury. I need to pay it forward as well. I can't just sit there and be like, my dad sacrificed for me, so now I don't need to sacrifice. I think the thing that motivates me to keep going is the reason why I need to keep going. It's not for me. Yes, like my wife might say I'm full of shit for saying it's not about me. She'll be like, but you're always working, Curtis. Well, but it's definitely, I'm doing that to make sure that my kids, my wife are in a position where they can make the mistakes I didn't feel I could make. So like my dad sacrificed a lot to put me where I am and to afford me the opportunities I could get. But there were still things I just didn't have the luxury of doing. Like I went overseas for the first time through school with other people paying, not my parents, because they couldn't afford it. Like I went to varsity because of NASFAS, not because my parents could afford it. So my parents sacrificed so much to get me to a place where these things were even a potential reality. But then there was a lot of extra people who believed in me. And that for me is a motivation for me to make sure that I fully show up. Because I'm doing it for myself, and there's always that, like anyone who says they're doing it only for others is full of shit. Like even people who are doing philanthropy. Yes, they're doing it for the good of the world and but there's a piece of you that is still doing it because it's fulfilling a thing inside of you that gives you energy. Like I said, like certain things energize certain people.
Yes, that's quite important.
And for me, this is one of those things. Showing up fully to be able to be in a position where I can do work that I feel I'm happy in doing, creating value in doing it, and more importantly, and allowing myself to have my kids and my wife and my family be in a position where they can access things that I couldn't access. That's what motivates me.
Amazing.
Did you ever at one point feel like a failure? Like
lots of times. Like when everything was happening the first time in the first business, I 100% felt like failure. Like there was no like arrogance like around, oh, this is going to work. Like, yes, you'll say this to the world and you'll put on a brave face. But like, there's plenty of times where I felt like a failure. And not a tiny failure, but like
huge. I'm actually thinking about the time when your wife was saying, dude,
Get a
You
job.
need to get a job. Yeah.
She was saying it exactly.
like,
'cause
on your own, you're saying, yo, hey, it's rough, eh?
yeah. So there's plenty of times I felt like a failure. But to be honest, like, and again, this is the thing. Hindsight's always 2020, right? The business I'm in now
Yeah.
came off the back of one of the darkest places I've been in my life. Like personally, like it was the bottom of the bottom. Like,
Wow.
like we were struggling to buy nappies. Like it was like hand to mouth. Like yes, we stayed in North Riding. Yes, nice house, nice car. But like you know, this is like mid-range people. You have the nice address, but then there's no furniture, right? Right, like. Like there's the perception of what people see, and then there's still the reality of what's going on, and those two things are quite often different.
It's Instagram.
It's the 1% life. It's the filtered life versus the real life. So there's been plenty of times where I felt like a failure. But like I said, I think the thing I always take it back to is I saw my dad fail. I saw him lose parts of the farm that were like grandfather's grandfather had it, and like I saw him need to sell off stuff. Like I saw him sacrifice a lot. Yes, because life was tough and he needed to. But he sacrificed it for me, for my brother, for my mom. So like even in that failure, there's still a choice. Like there's that whole thing of like there's two types of people, right? There's the person who gets punched in the face and then lies down, and then there's the person who gets punched in the face and then gets up and is ready to fight.
True.
You need to make the choice on which one of those two people you want to be. And I think for me, like my wife will call it stubbornness. I'll call it determination and consistency. Like sometimes that's just the difference between you making it or you just failing. It's just the dogged determination to carry on. Like there's no, like I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I don't think I'm more talented. I don't think I'm definitely not more educated because I just did a BCom. Yes, that's maybe more than most people. But there's definitely people with masters, PhD. Like when I went back to Standard Bank, like contracting first 18 months. Munya, my boss at the time, left. I was then made the head of the team. All the people below me they studied, like the two ladies who reported into me, one was masters doing a PhD, the other one had an honors. I'm like, guys, you're sharp, no? I'm here with my BCom, with my degree. Doing the most, but like, I'm fairly confident that they will still say that I taught them a lot of things that they didn't know. Why? Because there's things you learn in theory and in the classroom, and that's incredibly valuable to have. And then there's things you learn by doing.
Practical, tacit.
And those two things are both viable paths to establish yourself in a career. You don't need to go and study a 3-year degree to become a developer, to become a marketer, to become a business person, etc. You don't need to also just go the hustle, entrepreneurship route, self-taught, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can pick any path. It's just then when you pick it, are you going to like commit to it? And I think that's maybe the one thing that I've been fortunate enough and maybe forced into always needing to do. It's like there is no other path but this one. So we go, right?
I like what you mentioned, Curtis, because you see there's a difference between being committed and being interested in something. With commitment, you do whatever it takes, like the same work ethic that you're showing. Hey, look, I like your wife was very supportive. Take the kids out. I'm going to do this. At the end of the weekend, I'm a data scientist. I don't know how you do it, but you did it. And being interested is like, oh, I'm interested in this. When it's tough, you're not going to take in those 4 hours that you are taking. Nah, when it's tough, are you livid? Because you're just interested.
You
Like-
never had an episode where you were working with someone and because you're this person that's got this work ethic and then you've got this person that's got this work
Yeah, like
ethic and then you've never like
so I think there's
Yeah.
a few things, right? Like, so if I'm managing you,
Yeah.
I'll have a different mindset. If I'm working with you and you're my colleague, I'll have a different mindset, and I'll explain.
Okay.
If I'm your colleague,
Yeah.
I'm leaving you behind. We'll see each other when we see each other, right?
Okay.
Because we're both walking our path. Like, if you
Yeah.
want to work 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and every other time you're taking smoke breaks and coffee breaks, etc.
That's you.
I mean, there's people who do that and they
Yeah.
still get promoted to executives because they have the relationships, they have the networks. Like, that's okay. That's your path. I'm walking my journey. I'm walking my path. If I'm your
Yeah.
colleague, I will help you. I'll be supportive, but I'm not going to hold myself back to pull you forward. I'll just do
That's
what I
right.
need to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's the school project analogy. You know, in high school,
Yes.
and you're doing a school project, you're all going to end up getting the same mark.
Yeah.
But there's someone who always carries that project.
Yeah.
If that needs to be you, then it's okay. Like, it doesn't help me sitting there going, I'm prepared to fail because,
You are.
right? So if it's colleagues vibes, that's the mindset I adopt, like school project vibes. Like, if it needs to get done and this is the best way to do it,
Yeah.
it's going to get done because that's what needs to happen. If I'm your manager, though, there's a few things I'd probably note there. So for me personally, I enjoy teaching and coaching and helping
Nice.
because one of the things I firmly believe
Yeah.
is if I've made the choice to hire you, you sucking at your job is my fault, not yours. So if you aren't
Oh,
motivated, if you aren't showing up, if you don't understand what's needed to do your job fully and what I need you to do
Wow.
for me to have your back as the manager,
Yeah.
if I've hired you,
Yeah.
it's first my problem, then it's your problem.
That's leadership.
Most managers would end up
Yeah.
thinking like, this person's full of like doesn't know, doesn't what.
Yeah.
So my first mindset would be like, what can I do to support?
Yeah.
But that has an expiry date. Like, it has an expiry
That's
date.
true. Yeah.
right?
You
So
keep on carrying someone.
you can't carry someone indefinitely.
Yeah.
You just need to be okay with knowing what type of people you have in your team. Ideally, you build a strong team of people who you can work well with. But as a manager of people, you very definitely need to first have the mindset of what can I do to make this person perform better? And then think about managing up and managing out, right?
Yeah.
So like my mindset is definitely in that order. You first try and manage them up. Like,
Yes,
I want you to
help.
perform. I want you
Support.
to. So what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I help you with, etc.,
Yes.
etc. Then the second one is now we've tried that.
Yeah.
Now I'm managing you out.
Yeah.
So like advice I typically give people in corporate, like
Yeah.
people who report to me and the likes is like, if you want to grow in your career, you
Yeah.
need to eventually have that mindset of what am I, like I'm paying you to rock up between start time and end time
And then time. Yeah.
and do your job.
Yeah.
That's what I'm paying you for. If you want to grow though, what else are you doing here? Because that needs to be more than what I'm paying you for.
Yeah.
Because if all you're giving me is what I'm paying you for, there is no reason for me to give you more. So if you want more,
Yeah.
then let's talk. What else are you doing? What else can you help me
Yeah. Yeah.
take
Value.
off my plate? What value can you
Value.
create? How can you show up in a way that makes it easy
Yeah.
for me as the manager to go and fight for you when the discussions happen around
Yes.
promotions and the likes? Because there's no manager
Yeah.
who's going to go there and fight for someone that they don't even trust themselves to do the work.
True.
So like if I'm sitting there going like, is this person even going to be at 3 p.m. when there's a deadline for 4?
Yeah.
Is the work even going to be done?
True.
Like
Yeah.
there's no ways I'm fighting for you, right?
You know,
So,
you
yeah.
reminded me something within my work career. One of my bosses, I was trying to negotiate salaries for other people, and he gave me this analogy. Says, Kuda, if you buy an iPhone 6, right? They say pay, let's say 12,000, right? They come next year and say, now this iPhone, come and pay 12
15.
more. Okay.
Yes.
Then they say, No, but so
I
how?
want the iPhone 7 now. What new?
You
What's
want- give me
extra?
something
What's
else?
new?
How am I
Yes.
going to pay for the same stuff
Yes.
more? So
And
yeah,
look, a lot of employees in general,
Yes.
is like have this mindset of I deserve.
yeah,
You actually don't deserve
yeah.
anything unless you've showed
Shown
up
and shown the value.
as someone who is creating what they're getting paid for plus more.
Yeah, yeah,
You deserve your 6% increase and that's it.
yeah.
Right? You're actually privileged in this country with a 30% unemployment rate, what,
Yes.
to even have a job.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, I get it's tough in this country. Yes, I get it's expensive to eke out a living, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But like, if you have a stable job, you are privileged.
Yeah. True.
Like,
True.
I remember a time like it was when the Fees Must Fall protests were happening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was working in Rosebank at the time, and the protests were happening, and like some lady, like old lady, I was like, yeah, like these people are just like they're entitled. I'm like, listen, you don't even understand the struggle these kids are probably. You don't even understand why they are upset and why they are protesting.
True.
Because the background they coming from is very different to us sitting here in Rosebank
Yes.
in our office where we're drinking Vita coffee now, bitching and moaning about these entitled students who want free education.
Yeah.
Like the lady's rebuttal to me was, yeah, but I work to get where I am. I'm like,
It's
and like the thing I always go back to now, like the story I've been sharing about myself, like I know work.
yeah.
I know I am still not even in the 1%. I know there's gogos who are waking up at 2 a.m. in this country
Yes.
to go and catch 2 taxis to go and feed my kids as a helper.
Yes.
There are people who are growing vegetables, going to go and stand on the side of the road. They're standing the whole day to sell vegetables just to be able to afford enough to eat.
True.
And like, if there's real hustle,
Yeah.
that's the hustle.
That's the hustle.
Because
That's
that's
true.
the hustle where there's actually you are hustling for survival. You aren't even hustling for upside. Yeah, I'm hustling for upside.
Yes.
I'm hustling for legacy and all the sexy stuff you read in entrepreneurship books and the like.
Yeah.
Right? And like there is so much hustle in this country that doesn't get rewarded the same way
Someone
like I've got my PhD, I deserve because I work 8 to 5. No, guy, like there's people who deserve more.
That's true.
If you're talking about sacrifice, there's people in this country who deserve way more who are getting way less.
That's
than
true.
Like me sitting in my nice job with an employee number, pension fund, medical aid, blah blah blah, going I must get. So like it's that type of thing that like makes me sit and go like, Curtis, yes, you've achieved things in life, but don't let that go to your head because there's people here
that
who are hustling harder than you, that just didn't have the same opportunities that I've had, not because they are less intelligent than me, not because they are less like educated or like anything. It was just luck. So it's just something like for me personally, that's something that like makes me always just try and make myself be humble a little bit. Like you just need to check yourself.
True.
Like you just need to check yourself.
You always need those reminders as well because
and if you aren't able to do it, someone in your circle must do it.
You need
you need someone to be like
there's value in collaboration. No, great. Keres, sorry man, I think you at this point you need to also introduce yourself.
Oh shit. Right at the end.
I'm interested in the name brand.
Oh, so Curtis so, standard. Am I too fast?
Powered by
FIXXR.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
from the challenge to what?
So FIXXR is the company I run now.
Nice. You're founder, right?
Founder, so it's myself and 2 other business partners.
Nice.
So what FIXXR is we basically fix cars. The easy one-liner for you as a car owner is we are Uber for servicing your car. So managed marketplace, you'll book online, you'll come to our platform, fixxr.co.za.
Yeah.
You'll book online, we'll match you with a mechanic, and then that mechanic comes through to your home or office to service the vehicle.
Yeah.
For the mechanics, we aren't just here's a client and then go. We also actually help the mechanics a lot with collecting payments, finding the parts, the logistics.
Yeah.
So like we have full service offering for the mechanic side where they just need to do one thing and one thing only.
Okay.
Fix cars.
Yeah, fix
That's
up.
your job. Don't worry about the rest of it.
Yeah.
We'll deal that. We'll find the clients, we'll find the parts, we'll find make the clients pay, we'll do the reviews, we'll manage complaints, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You must just do one thing and do it well, fix the cars. And then for you as the client, like I said, it's the easy one. Uber for servicing your vehicle. Like because of the previous struggles, like finding a good mechanic is not easy, but there are so many good mechanics. And that's our kind of pitch is we want to make finding those good mechanics really easy, where you just come to us and know that your vehicle is going to be fixed with a level of care where even if we mess up, we're going to still try and honor the way in which we do business, where it's done in a transparent fashion, where we're making sure that we do it with quality and empathy. Because like typically your car is your second biggest asset after your house, right?
Nice.
So it's not something that you want to have just chilling in the driveway broken down. So like that's what we do. So we help people keep their cars on the road longer. And do it in an empathetic and responsible way.
Oh yeah. That's powerful.
So that's what I do now. I'm my formal job title is head of product. So I'm still the IT guy there now. All the coding stuff, I now sit there. But I can at least now do it. So I'm not completely bullshitting now when I go and build a few things.
No, that's cool. No, thanks, Karen. We always have a special question that we always ask. Mambukazi will ask you.
What's the special question?
What do you drink?
What do I drink? Well, today I was drinking Black Label.
It's what makes you smile.
What makes me smile? So two things. The first thing is doing something and doing it well.
Nice.
Like there's times where, like you'll be struggling with something and you really just need to push through and then you end up figuring it out. Like by hook or crook. Sometimes the light bulb moment comes on, sometimes you just stumble on the answer. But doing something where you can look back and go, come look. Come look.
It's done.
Look here, right? That's one thing. So I definitely take pride in doing stuff that I can show people and be like, look, I created that. That's cool. And the second thing that I think makes me smile is just my family. Like seeing them be happy makes me smile. And I've got a very white definition of family. So it's me, it's my wife, it's my two kids. That's family for me. That's the nucleus.
Yeah, you're proper wife.
You're an auntie, you're an uncle. No, yes, you family.
Yes, that's true.
And family for me means a lot. So I will definitely sacrifice for my brother, sacrifice for aunts, uncles, mother-in-laws, my mom, my dad, etc., etc. But the family that I get happy about when I see them happy is that core.
The core,
because that for me is that for me is important. Those are the two things that make me smile.
No, that's cool. That's good. No, I like selfies. No, that's cool. No, thanks, Curtis. Thank you very much. You see, the key thing that I actually also just picked up and learned from you is your environment was very important in giving you the drive that you've got in terms of where you were going and stuff. And I guess one of your values as well is people as well. The teaching part and stuff. It's coming also from your background as well. And that's actually quite powerful. What I would like to know, just maybe my last question. I don't know if
I've
you've
got
got.
like 5 last
It's no problem.
I'll need
It's-
another beer.
What's on my boy?
Yeah. So I just want to know, like, where are you going? Like, what is it that you want now? You've seen quite a lot. You've struggled. You've seen that in struggles you can create companies. Like now.
Listen, I joke now. Every time I've created a new company is
Yeah.
when myself and my wife have gotten pregnant or just had a kid.
Yeah.
So like the first business was
Can you give
a year into or like 2 months after my first son was born.
Yeah.
The second business, FIXXR,
Yeah.
was when we started FIXXR when my wife was like 3 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So like where I'm probably at now is like if I start another business, then there's probably a third kid on the way. No, I don't know. No, not yet.
Company.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on the kids.
Yeah.
Look to be
I must say big up to your wife, eh? We've got a present for her.
Yeah.
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 We will have another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With you, both
Look,
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll probably call bullshit on a lot of
Yeah.
things. Like, you
Stubborn.
see, this one.
When
The someone one.
When we hear the episode, just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cut the episode.
No, but a lot of where I am today is
Yeah.
because of her support.
Nah, lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
so
Amazing.
where I see myself going,
Yeah.
to be honest, we'll see.
Yeah.
Where I am now, I know what I'm good at.
Yes.
I know where I can rock up and show value. I know what that value looks like.
Yeah.
I know what I'm worth.
Yes.
So like if I had to go and contract, if I had to go and get a job, like I know what I should be looking for in terms of
That's important.
like what I should be asking for, what I should be looking to commit to deliver, etc.
That's important.
But I don't have like this 5-year plan like thing. We'll see what we see, Kuda.
yeah. Yeah.
Like God will provide. The right path will be put in place, and it might look like struggle
Yeah.
or it might look like blessing.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, it'll end up being what it needs to be for
Yeah.
me to end up growing in the way that I need to grow.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. No, that's good.
Now the 5.
Yeah.
During the baby is like,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 10, 9, 8, the 10th one.
Yeah.
Okay, so our podcast is mainly for the people that are watching to be motivated and to be encouraged. So, what advice can you give to the fathers, the husbands, the grandfathers, the uncles, the brothers, the head of the families that are maybe they lost their job, they don't know what to do, and you've been in that situation? Like,
Yeah.
what can you let them know that everything, if you just focus on something, like I don't know if I'm trying to make sense. Like what motivate, what can keep them going? Like it's not the end of the line.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
power. Yeah. You can have
Yeah,
that
so that's
drink.
not an easy question. I think the first thing that I'd probably maybe say there is that you are good enough.
Mm.
And I think you need to feel that and believe that to be able to have the energy to pick yourself up. Because there's not going to be anyone who's going to pick you up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're the head of the household. Like
Yeah.
your wife's looking to you, your
Kids.
kids are looking to you. There's no one like
Yeah.
it's really tough actually being a man. Like we catch a lot of
Yeah.
strays and a lot of
I don't know if you know that.
like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of support structures for ladies. Yes, there's a lot of bad things and there's a lot of patriarchy in there. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But like simple example, there's Valentine's Day geared for women.
Yeah.
There's Mother's Day geared for women.
Yeah.
There's Women's Day
Yeah.
geared for women.
Women's Month.
There's Women's Month geared for women.
Like
right?
now.
There's one day, Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. And I say that jokingly, but like
Yeah.
there's a lot that guys need to carry that it's actually very difficult to find a space that you feel safe in to even talk about that, to say I'm doubting myself, I don't know, I'm struggling. Like, guys will always guys don't talk to other guys and be like, listen, homie, I'm
that's true.
I'm like one step away from wanting to end my life.
Yeah.
Like, guys don't talk like
they
that.
Don't.
Like, ladies will talk like that. Ladies will be like, ladies will share things, right? Like, guys will be like, oh, you good. Oh. Like, we are trained from a very young age to put on a brave face. Yes. Even if that brave face isn't something we feel inside.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing I'd probably say for anyone going through and carrying a lot is believe that you are good enough.
Yeah.
And just that thing will help you start finding energy to be good enough and show up as good enough.
Yeah.
Like there's a really great quote that I read a while back. Like every person has two wolves inside of them. A white wolf, light, goodness, everything that's positive about you is the white wolf.
Yeah.
And then a black wolf. Everything that's bad about you, depression, anger, hate. And the wolf that wins is the wolf you feed. So like that thing where if you're in a dark space and you can't yourself find the light, that darkness will get darker and darker and darker and you'll drown.
Wow.
So like that for me would probably be the first thing where if it's dark around you, like find the light because it's somewhere. Like there are people in life that are struggling more than you struggle. Might not feel like it.
Yes.
But like the reality is like there's people who are maybe poorer than you, who have gone through worse things than you.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It might feel like the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's actually a good place to be because the only place now is up.
Exactly.
You just need to find that energy now. And I think that's the first thing I'd say is like find that thing inside of you that says I'm good enough.
Yeah.
And then
build from
step forward from that position of authority where you start just preaching that to yourself.
Yeah.
Because eventually that thing will become the reality.
Yeah.
So that's probably the advice I'd give. If you're struggling, then like that for me is really important. The second thing I'd probably say is you need to then probably find someone, like for me it was my wife.
Nice.
Who you can lean on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who will at least help you feel like you aren't carrying everything alone. You might be carrying the 99%.
Yeah.
But find someone who you can feel like you're not like, I can at least have someone else help me carry the 1% or the 10% or the 50%, right? That should be the two things I'd say. And then the last thing I'd say is start and keep going. Like consistency is
action.
Like, but it's start and then it's carry on. Like it's just every day, just show up, and eventually like something will happen.
Definitely.
Again, like there's a book, Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers.
Yeah. Oh yes, Outliers.
Really great book. In the book, 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
If you want to be an expert in anything, you need to put in 10,000 hours worth of time.
Yeah.
To go from zero to you are top of your field.
Yeah.
And again, what I typically tell people, especially early on in their career, why I'm like, listen, guy, hustle your 12 hours, hustle like work. Because if you're there working 5 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours, there's some kid in India who's been doing this since they were 3.
Yes.
Some kid in China who's spending 16 hours, they are eating and breathing this thing.
Yeah.
Like there's some person in some backwater spending 100 hours a week and that's their hustle.
Yeah.
Like if that's what's needed to get to the top, then like
do it.
You know, like do it, right? I always like it annoys me a little bit in today's world where like you see a lot of people be like, oh, I want to be a rapper. Oh, I want to be an entertainer. Oh, I want to be the CEO of the next big business. I want to be the next Elon Musk, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I think social media and like the ease of having access to information has created like a distorted view of how
things are.
You arrive at the top. Because
the journey is
people will not know you.
Yeah.
And then they'll see you make it and it's like, He just instant.
Yeah,
they'll
instant.
see Black Coffee, they'll see Casper, they'll
Yeah.
see Bonang, they'll see Elon, they'll see
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, they'll see Richard
Yeah.
Branson. They'll be like, yeah, like
I can,
his
I
dad
can
gave
be
him
there.
this, or
Yeah.
like he just built this in the last 10. No,
Sure.
this guy was hustling from.
Yeah.
So I think that consistency is a really, really important thing. If this is something that you want,
Yeah. Yeah.
then my question to you would be, how badly do you want it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's not going to be shown by your words. That's going to be shown by your actions. If you really want it, I won't have to motivate you
Yeah.
to do extra.
Be committed.
I'll just be like, I just need to let you loose. And if you're an employee who comes here saying, I want to be the next senior manager, next executive, next,
Show it.
I shouldn't have to motivate you to do that. I should just be the person saying, there's the gate, there's the access, there's this.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
But those would probably be the three things I'd kind of note. Yeah. Like you first need to start with yourself and at
Yeah.
least start, even if you don't really believe it at the start, but you need to start trying to create that space with preaching positivity into your life.
Yes.
Find the support structures, no matter how small. And then like start and keep going.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow. It might not be the
Yes.
rainbow you started chasing.
Yes.
It might not be even a pot of gold.
Yeah.
It might be something completely different. But if you don't keep going, you're never going to get there.
True. True.
So those would be my three things.
Wow.
So
That's
good.
powerful, brother.
Yeah,
That's powerful. No, thank you, man.
That's
No, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, we still got 9 more left. Was
No,
that
no,
enough?
no.
No, you're like,
I think
you clocked it all, eh?
I think everything's sorted.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you, Keres.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Every
think-
now and again, I speak some. no?
Yeah.
Just a little now.
Ah, we see you,
Yeah,
bro.
just-
We need you again, bro.
I just do this now. Just some
Salty.
salt there.
No, thank you, brother. No, thank you, Keres. Thank you for giving us your time.
thank you
I'm
for
gonna
having me
feed
as well.
the white.
Feed the white wolf.
I'll feed the white wolf. Yeah, I'll definitely do
I like
that.
his answers because it's broad. It's not just like I mentioned the uncles, the brothers.
Yeah,
You do have women that are head of the house providers
Yeah.
True.
because of the
On there.
circumstance, right?
yeah,
And they
Yeah.
might be going through the same thing. And
yes,
And they're probably carrying a lot of the
And
same
they
stress
are.
that a guy
Yeah.
carries. Because if
So-
you're the top,
Yeah.
yeah.
there's no one.
No,
like,
the box stops
there. That's where it stops. So I can respect and honor like ladies who are
Yeah.
head of a household or
yeah.
kids who are head of households. There are kids who are head of
It's tough.
households. There
It's
are
not easy.
like uncles who are looking after kids that aren't theirs, aunts who are
Yeah.
looking after kids, grandmothers, blah blah blah. So like,
Yeah,
if you are putting yourself at the top of something,
yeah,
I can honestly respect
yeah,
that wholeheartedly because it's lonely there.
yeah. It's not easy.
It's very easy to like look up and be like, this one's
Yeah,
full
as
of
long
this.
as you can push it to someone else, it's easy. And thank you for giving us. We want the second one. We definitely will
With the wife
gonna
this
have
time
chat.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want, and we've also got a present for you guys.
No,
We didn't
thank
know it's a decade, right?
Yeah.
You guys are celebrating a decade.
Yeah, as of yesterday, Home
congratulations.
Affairs are like 10 plus 1.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Please,
yeah.
please share
Yeah.
this